You're listening to PDR Tool Talk, all about PDR stories, tools, and techniques.
For the thousands in attendance, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Mike Toledo, along with Vince D'Alessandro, Daniel Grom, and who's that guy right there? The beard with he doesn't have any glasses on anymore. John Hiley. Wow, man, look at those eyes, man. Shoot.
AKA the beard, bro.
And you sexy bitch. I tell you that every time now, dude. So.
I'm telling you, man. When I get a hold of you guys at the Mobile Tech Expo, don't even if they're walking funny, just
I'm calling them J.H. Callan now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you've been told this, Todd, but you do not. Here he goes. Look, he even smiles like that guy. Who you guys think I'm talking about? The actor.
Oh, I know. Like
John Belushi.
No,
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis.
He's got the same smile as John Belushi.
No, I thought it's
Chris Rock.
I thought it's Pee Wee
Jim
Herman.
Belushi.
Pee Wee Herman. Dude.
No, like Chris Rock.
Come
on.
on.
We got Todd from Carbon Tech here,
Yeah.
and welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Glad to finally be here.
Yeah, it's a long time coming, and it's about time. So
That's not Todd, dude. That's Alec Baldwin, dude.
Alec Baldwin, there.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'm a long lost brother with no money.
there you go.
Well, we all are here welcoming Todd to the show for the first time. If there's plenty of people out there that know Carbon Tech, but they might not know the man, the myth, the legend behind the product, is Todd Zimmerman, the owner and proprietor and creator of the awesome Carbon Tech tools that are out there. And we're going to have a conversation with Todd about how he got his start in this industry and move on to the tools and get all the wealth of knowledge of his excellent products that are out there. So welcome to the show, Todd.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So why don't you take us back a little bit and tell us about your career with PDR and what makes you so talented at making these awesome tools?
Well, I started in '99 with Dent Wizard and worked at the auction in Riverside, California for a little over a year and got a little crowded. So I hit the Hale Road with Dent Wizard for a couple years and then went on my own. And I did have a retail shop for a while in California until kind of the economy crashed. And then I was still doing Hale a little bit, but then I went on the road full time in '08. And I just I don't know. I've always been creative, and in fact, I started doing as I was younger doing custom paint, and started off painting helmets and anything that needed graphics and stuff. So kind of the transition into tools was I don't know. It was a good thing for me because doing doing Hale for so long, it kind of gets monotonous, and I needed that creative side. So.
Oh, sure. And you probably, being out there in the field, you saw a need for a new product out there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it actually was a buddy of mine kind of got the ball rolling when we were looking at Drew's rod. Knowing that carbon fiber is kind of a good idea, but when you're seeing his smaller rod flex quite a bit, we needed, bigger tubing, always stiffer. And so we just kind of put a rod and kind of a similar size to the Ultra rod and work from there. And then developing the push button part of it was just to simplify things, make it easier, faster. For me, doing Hale faster is better. I mean, time is money doing Hale. And if I can make it simpler and faster or lighter, I'm going to do it. It's just a way to make money.
Now, one of us within the store actually has your product and has been using it for a while now. And we're also bringing on another special guest to talk about your product, seeing that the three of us don't have any of your products. John, you've been using it for a while. What do you think so far?
Yeah, so I've been working on a very comprehensive review. I did do an initial unboxing review, and Vince will link that to our show notes. You could actually take a look at that. And I've been meaning to. I'm going to send out an email to all you guys out there as well, just to check it out who haven't seen my unboxing of it. But the more that I use this thing, I got to say that I really can't think of a higher quality product that I've ever received in the paintless dent removal industry. Everything from the tight tolerance all the way down to the detail and the stamping on the handle, all the way to all the accessories are very heavy duty. And the one thing that I noticed, guys, what you got to understand about carbon fiber, I build tools with carbon fiber, okay? And once you go through a certain wall thickness, the price not only doubles, sometimes it triples or quadruples, or I mean, it can go way up there based on the wall thickness of the carbon fiber. So that I know that there's some comparable rods out there that they're just using the standard thickness for that diameter tubing. And this one, I've seen it, and I've seen the other ones, and I've seen this one, and I'm telling you that the wall thickness on this thing has to cost double or something like that, or maybe even more than the standard thickness of what some other companies are using out there. I mean, it's dramatic how strong the thing is. I mean, what is that, Todd? Is it like is it like a 1/4 inch thick or something like that? I mean, it's wild.
It's 8 inch wall. But just to give you a little perspective, the same company that I buy the carbon fiber from make carbon fiber drive lines for Corvettes, and they're 16th wall. And so
right,
let you know what a 16th wall is capable of doing. Gives you a little perspective on an 1/8 inch wall piece of carbon fiber. So
the detail all the way from the packaging and the shipping of receiving something that's perfectly packaged and laid out down to all the accessories and all the little edges and the way that they fit is amazing. The tolerance, I will tell you, the tolerance is so good that you got to be careful when you're putting it together. It might bite you because you've probably been bitten by it a couple times. I know that I have. But that's because it's not something that you really got to line it up and slip it on there. For all of you gun fanatics out there, the gun that I would compare it to, I'm a 1911 collector, okay? So if you look at my gun wall, I've got 1911s just hanging everywhere. And it would be the Ed Brown of the 1911 collection, which basically means if you pick up your Smith & Wesson 1911, you shine it up at the sun, you can see light through the rails and stuff like that. The tolerance isn't tight. It's production. This was designed as a perfect fit, okay? So that's the difference between a high-end gun and a cheaper gun, is that everything's production, they just throw it together, but a high-end gun, everything is retrofitted for the actual, to fit perfectly so you don't see any gaps or any shaking, and the tolerance is really tight. You're going to want that in a hail rod. I mean, I can't even explain, the price of it is so cheap. Like hail technicians need to realize this thing, it sped up my whole. I did a whole Prius roof from one window. Like I just ran that thing across the whole roof, and kind of worked it like from a distance, like you would do an SUV or something like that. And I was able to just get no flex, solid pushes, flip it quick. And I didn't think that I was going to like Todd's initial handle that he had on there. It's almost like a little miniature football or something like that on the end. Yes, like a grenade. So I told him to send me a T-handle, but I'm here to tell you, I put the T-handle on once and I liked it, but I took it back off and I used this grenade handle because what happens is, and he explained this to me, that's actually used as a weight on the back of the rod. So when you're gripping up a little bit higher on the rod, it's going to take and force them pushes through for you.
Counterbalance it.
It counterbalances it. And I'm just telling you, like I zipped through a roof and absolutely no time with this thing. Like Todd, I got to give you a hands down on this, dude. It's the best paintless dent removal product that I've ever seen, and I'm including my tools on top of it, dude. It is honestly so well put together. I couldn't imagine the thought that you had to put into this to lay it out.
I appreciate it. When you're talking about the counterweight, it's so funny because I see a lot of guys, or actually talk to a lot of guys. I'll send them a rod and I'll text them a week later and ask them how it is, and they're like, "Well, I haven't had any big roofs to do it on." I said, I tell them all the time, you can use it everywhere. And small roofs, I mean, to me, throw away all the steel rods that you usually do a roof with, because I can start on and literally leave one edge, work my way all the way over, do about 80% of the roof from one side, and not grab another the whole time, other than some whale tails to do some, under the bracing. But like I said, and a lot of guys want to shorten that thing up to 4 feet, just like their steel rod. And I run it 5 or 6 feet almost all the time, let that counterweight hang behind me. And I spend more labor lifting the rod than I do pushing almost all the time. And it takes a lot of effort out of it, which is, better on your shoulder, better on your back, better on your body.
Now, we do have another guest that would rather remain nameless coming on to talk about your product as well. Maybe some of them will recognize his voice. He is a voice of the PDR industry. So, what do you have to say about it, special guest?
So I was going to comment on the cost to value ratio John was kind of mentioning. And that is that, okay, so if you can do 80% of the roof from one location, which I agree with, I mean, most of the time I'm hitting probably 75 to 80% of the roof from one position. And, but you can pay for the rod itself in a half or less of one single hail roof that's priced correctly, right? So you're paying for the tool on the first roof that you're working on it with. So the cost to value is definitely there. But yeah, everything that you mentioned, with the exception of the handle, actually, I prefer the T handle to the grenade. But to be honest with you, both of them are valuable. I just personal preference, I prefer the T handle. But the cost to value is definitely there. Can you guys hear me okay, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, just making sure we're good.
I'm not sure if your mic is actually on, or is that just another mic? Because your mic should. I'm sorry. I'm listening to your tone, dude. But listen to John's mic, and then I'm listening to yours. So
Your mic should sound better than that,
yeah.
Mike's a very tony,
Mr. PK.
Does it sound like it's a laptop mic? Or
It does. It sounds like a laptop mic.
Yeah.
Tap your mic.
You know what though? While Paul's checking that out real quick, and just check your preferences on your computer, Paul. Just check your preferences on your computer. Make sure it's set to your external mic, not your internal one.
So I've got a question for you, Todd.
Yep.
You guys mentioned it, working this rod everywhere, and I have Ultra's aluminum one, and I've honestly wanted to use it on truck beds. Some of the newer truck beds, they're wide open, but the challenge is the heads. That 90-degree head, it doesn't work really well for working on a truck bed. You need that, whatever that degree is. It's not quite 45 degrees, but you need that little bit of a slant to be able to work on a truck bed. And honestly, I think that's the future of our industry. I think carbon rods could get smaller and stronger, and I'd like to see regular rods be carbon, because I got one of Jeremy Langton's solid carbon rods. It's a small rod that I've worked on truck beds, and just like what you're saying, just having it lightweight, you can only use it with one hand, is a big advantage, man. If I could have a whole set of rods that would have a small end on it, or be able to fit it through a hole, it would be a huge advantage. But
That's one of the things,
does yours have a head that you can put at an?
Well, I do. I actually have multiple heads. We have the standard T head. If somebody doesn't own another one of the heads, they can usually take off one side of the tips and work it as a single-sided head. Although I do have a full single-sided head that allows you probably another half-inch more. And with our 36-inch extension, which will put the rod up 10 feet, you can do a 8-foot bedside from the tail light of a Chevy all the way to the front. And because this thing is so light, you're not fighting the head weight like you would be the Ultra rod.
Right.
But you can also direct push and not twist. But then we also got our tools, which I'll show you a little more about this. We got a couple different picks, and these are actually made, the pick itself is actually made by Ultra. So it's the same picks you buy from them. And so we're actually, just to give you an idea, we're actually working on a new standard head that is this right here. It's threaded.
Okay.
And it works just like, it basically works just like a drill.
Nice.
So we are going to probably make this the standard head to where you have your normal T head. You'll have a single-sided head. You'll have multiple different pick options, as well as the threaded tips the Ultra makes, where like the pick. They're cool. You can change the tip, on it.
Right.
So this will give you a lot of options. And then as far as smaller rods, we're actually working on a mini. It'll be a modular tool, just like our big one. It'll pop together, so you'll have multiple lengths, 3/4 inch solid. And then what we're going to try to do is make the same similar deal in a smaller version. So when you buy these, you're able to slip these into the small one as well as the large one. So
there you go.
Everything I'm trying to do we're trying to do as modular as possible. Multiple uses. In fact, we are working on an addition or an adapter to the tool to make it like the K-bar, to where you got a foot you can just pop in one end, you got an adjustable deal, and you got your, you can pull up on it just like a K-bar. So for a guy that's like you three that are doing, more big damage or door dings and stuff, you can actually use this on multiple areas, and it's not just a hail rod. As a big leverage bar, as a bridge, whatever.
That opens up your market a lot too.
It does.
Yeah, definitely with trucks, it seems like it would be a big advantage because trucks, the truck beds are a lot heavier, it seems like, and having a lighter rod, again, direct push and no flex, it's a huge, huge advantage.
Yeah.
It's huge. I never take off the top of the bed caps anymore.
Is that right?
Never.
Really?
Never.
Because that tool can reach that, it has that length and that strength to get enough leverage to push off.
Yeah, no head weight. That's the nice thing. There's no head weight, so you're not fighting this, the big weight
balance.
Yeah, you spend more time fighting where you're at than you do hitting the dent. So
well, yeah, and you're going to shave a lot of time off just by having that distance in general from the damage. By working it from that far away, it's going to shave off the time of creating that distance to finish it out.
Yeah, and I'm using it wherever I can fit it. A lot of the Dodge or Chrysler cars, like the 300s and the Challengers, I get them in that front fender. You go all the way to the front and you're barely pushing. You're not like cranking down like you would a steel rod. You're going right through the door. It's awesome. It doesn't fit everywhere, but wherever it fits, if I can get it, because it makes it so much easier to push, I'm using it.
Well, I hear
Paul, you probably using it everywhere, right?
I use it. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
But not on your mic, but yeah.
Not on the mic. All right, I'll have to set up the other mic, but I'm using it basically everywhere that I can fit it. I mean, to be honest with you, anytime I got a fender that I can pull the splash guard back and get a big thick rod in there, truck bedsides, definitely roofs. To be honest with you, a lot of hoods that I pull out, I mean, because I want to be efficient and not move as much as possible, I'll use that thing extended, but not usually as long as I would use it on a roof, but I'll use it at maybe 4 to 5, maybe 6 feet, and I'll hit every open spot on a hood that I can. Typically, what I like to do is set up 2 lights, and then I'll have my hood on the new Carbon Tech hood stand, which is freaking amazing, by the way. And I'll move the stand. I'd rather not move the lights. I'll move the stand because I can move depth and I can move left, right. If the lights stay stationary, I move the hood instead. So what I'll do is I'll use the Carbon Tech hail rod at a decent length, and I'll hit every open spot on a hood that I can while moving the hood and leaving the light stationary as possible. Then I'll work my way to whale tails or shade tools in order to get everything under the braces. So I mean, on a hail car, I use it everywhere. And then anytime I can use it on a retail side panel that allows, I use it there as well. So
how many attachments do you have for your tool?
Me?
Or like that? No, for Carbon Tech. How many ends? Because you have different picks.
There's 2 whale tails.
You have whale tails, right?
2 picks.
Your mic's not working.
Unmute. There you go.
I'm a little new to this. 2 whale tails, 2 picks, and the regular standard head, and then single-sided head, and then we got the 2 handles right now.
Yeah, that's good.
And what's nice too is like, say you're doing a suburban roof. What's really cool is like a lot of guys will throw a whale tail on the handle end, the double-sided head on the other end, and then you're just flying and you just spin that thing around and whale tail and turn right back around. I mean, it's a time killer, man. It really saves a lot of time.
Now, what are some of the myths with carbon fiber rods that are out there? I know a lot of people are worried about scratching them, about them cracking. What are some of the myths that you can kind of touch on?
Yeah, well, so far I've discovered, and I'm pretty hard on my tools, but I've discovered that the resin's pretty hard on them. I mean, if you get a sharp edge, it's going to tear it up. It's going to at least scratch the resin. But even running in the bedsides, I've basically been, running it right on the metal because I want to test them as much as possible. And if I brought my rod, it looks dull. That's it. There's no scratches through into the fibers or anything. There's actually enough resin on there to machine it a little bit. And so it's actually really strong. I mean, I would say with the investment, it's still better to run it on, make sure you run it on something smooth, or put a towel in the door jamb or the tail light, just something to protect it. But as far as running on any of like a lot of guys worry about their metal monkey bars or rear crossbars, as long as it's smooth, it's fine. It's not going to damage it at all. I mean, it's strong. So,
have you ever thought about making a sleeve for that kind of thing, or?
Well, like our crossbars, we make two different crossbars. We make a window one and we make a rear hanger. And we do have a rubberized grip tape for the rear, but that's really for just grip. You just don't think you need it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's strong.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You guys hear me now or no?
I can hear you, but not through your mic.
So what is a full setup? What's it going to cost me?
Well, the standard rod set is $949, and it's basically 7 foot. It's 3 sections. Comes with the grenade handle and the T-shaped head, and 2 different tips and 2 different tips. So, and then basically from there we got all the attachments are just add on. So
awesome. Now you have a couple other products out there. The second one that came to market was your hail stand. Your hood stand.
The hood stand.
Want to give us?
The hood stand. Unfortunately, it's been on hold because the original parts we made for the upper corners we had a couple of them crack, and so I just instantly shut it down because I didn't want to sell anything that's inferior. And so, been trying to deal with all that while being on the road. It's kind of been slow, but I'm pretty confident by late next week I'll have a batch of parts, and then. Really, honestly, we're working into plastic injection. We're working on the molds right now. We should have, hopefully by MTE, we should have plastic injected parts, which will speed things up tremendously. I mean, that thing is so slow. And so if we get to that point, I think it'll speed things up a lot, and we'll be able to produce a lot more of these for next year. And
you showcased that at MTE last year.
I did. Showed a prototype, and unfortunately, it didn't come together as fast as I wanted to, but it's a great product. Paul will be able to tell you. First thing people ask me, because it's 23, 24 pounds, if it's stable, it's the most stable hood stand on the market. I guarantee it right now, because it's the only one with 2 braces per leg coming in opposite angles, whereas all the rest of them come from the center out and still allows the leg to swing like this. So when you're rolling that thing around and you catch a joint in the concrete, that it just, starts bending stuff up. And next thing you know, you have a hood stand that's falling apart. And it's basically 3 tubes per leg, and each leg is braced in 2 different directions, and it's stable. That's really.
You guys hear me now?
Yeah. So you have this hood stand, right, Paul?
Yeah. No, Paul does too.
Yeah. So I was going to go back to speak about the. Let me know if it doesn't sound right.
You sound good, man. Keep going.
So going back to speak about, I'm pretty rough on the tools, right? So like I don't even think about whether it's a sharp edge or if I'm pushing carbon against steel or what. I just use the tool, I make it work, and if it chips or it breaks or whatever, then I deal with it as it comes. But I've
Shame
used
on you.
that. Yeah, I know. I'm probably the opposite of Mike Toledo.
Dude, I'm opposite
My
of you.
tools don't look anything like Mike's shop. everything's laid out in his shop perfectly like ordered. No, my stuff is just piled up, but probably looks a little bit more like John's shop from what I can tell. But no, I use that carbon rod on. I use it on steel monkey bars. I've used it on metal rings. I've used it on the Carbon Tech nylon strap, the window strap that he has. And honestly, all the abuse I put on that thing, and I mean, it's got some scratches, but I haven't done anything like chip it or push it to the point where I was nervous that the carbon fiber was starting to weaken or anything like that. I mean, it's a stout rod. If you have it, then you know. But to speak to the hood stand, I got my hood stand, probably 2 weeks ago, Todd? And first of all, I got to say, hands down, the lightest hood stand that's out there. There's nobody that's even close. I think I heard some guys talk about how the TDN card is about 42 pounds. But I don't have that stand. So in fairness, I can't speak to the comparison, but at 23 and a half, 24 pounds, I mean, that Carbon Tech hood stand is so light. But secondly, I would speak to the fact that, especially if you're a mobile hail guy, I'm not, but if you're a mobile hail guy, my guess is that you probably want to get set up as fast as possible. And I mean it when I say, it probably took me no more than a minute to a minute and a half to get it set out of the bag, set up, locked in, and then, get the arms in it and set to the height that I want. Maybe 2 minutes if you're really adjusting the height to that perfect height that you want your hood at. But the way that the straps are integrated into the arms, the locking cams that make it super fast, super easy to adjust your height and then lock them into place where they're really stout. They're solid. And like Todd said, I mean, it really is. It's probably for what it is. When you feel it and you feel how light it is, you're thinking, man, this thing is so light. It's going to bend. It's going to flex. It's going to, maybe flop over on me, maybe get top heavy. But it is so solid because of its profile. It's probably even at full height extended, it's so wide and has such a wide stance that when you put a heavy lift gate on it, that thing is not going to be top heavy and flop over on you. So for me personally, it's been probably the best hood stand I've ever worked with. And I have the dent bench. I have probably access to 3 or 4 of the hood stands that I've used over the years that for me, it's the one to go with. But I'm probably a little biased, but at the same time, in comparison to the other stuff that I've used, it's hands down the best hood stand I've ever used.
Well, a hood stand's like trying to find a unicorn lady, dude. Does she cook, clean, and is she good looking? So, right. With a hood stand, you need it solid, light, and reliable, durable. So, sounds like that's what you have.
Yeah, the other nice thing about it is to be able to fold it up in 30 seconds and have it only take up a footprint of like 1 square foot or 2 square feet. For a guy like Mike Toledo here that's got a really nice shop, you don't want a hood stand taking up 10 square feet all the time. So you literally fold it up, put the pin back in the lock position, and it stays up out of your way. And when you're ready to use it, you pull one pin and it drops open, and that's it.
Exactly.
So there's 2 ways.
Man, you guys have sold me, man. I want one.
Same here.
There's 2 ways that hood stands get stored in a shop. One is they stay set up and they're just taking up, probably 25 square feet of space, or they lay in pieces in the corner, so they're collecting dust and they're getting kicked around, right?
Exactly.
This is different. I mean, between the fact that he gives you a case to hold the hood stand in it and the fact that it collapses into such a small square footage, it's pretty sweet. It's funny.
I have a nice spot ready thinking about where I can put it on my wall, dude. So
yeah, and Mike actually doesn't have dust in his he has a micro system.
He has a HEPA filter.
That's good. But even for running the shops, I would never put it in the bag. I would never take out the uprights. I would just fold it up and go. I mean, throw it in the back of the vehicle and go. I mean, it's going to take up, just a small space as far as, width and thickness, but it's a little long, but you can fold it in 30 seconds and go.
And so what's that going to set me back? How much?
A lot. They're
one half of the hail roof.
They are $11.99.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which isn't too bad.
Good quality ain't cheap, and cheap quality ain't good.
Well, do you guys remember when
that's
Drew?
About the going price for any hood stand, right?
Yeah, but do you guys remember when Drew came out with his first carbon hood stand? It was like $6,000.
No way.
It was something like that.
I don't remember that.
I think it was a little bit of a shock product,
Yeah,
but
yeah, but do you guys all remember that the Mobile Tech Expo? That was the talk of the show. We're like the first carbon hood stand, and we walk up. It's like it's either 4,800 or 6,800. It was something that was just like wow. So when I hear 1,100, I mean it. I think Drew helped you out there because he had the most expensive hood stand on the planet.
It took me a long time to, a lot of thought over about.
Hey, I bet the one guy who bought that's pissed off right now.
Yeah, it took me a couple years to figure out how to make it cost effective.
Yeah,
and to be a fast design. I mean, like I said, everything I want to do is to speed you up, lighten your load, make everything faster and better for you. And I mean, simplify. So many tool companies build a cool product, but they have 400 pieces to make one item, and it just. To put something together takes you so long. I mean, I've had the Ultra Hood stand forever, and there's no way I could take that thing all the way apart because if I did every time, it would take me 2 hours to put together.
Are you talking about the briefcase one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I have right now currently.
Yeah. So. I mean, it was a great product, for its time, but for me, once I put it together, I never took apart the lower part. I always just pulled it up.
Yeah, I was trying to like cheat and like, okay, I can take part of this apart and then I can hang the rest up on my wall. But you're right. It's just, I mean, it's a great, like, don't get me wrong, it's a great hood stand, but like you mentioned, it just takes too long to set it up. So.
Yep.
But
so aluminum parts wear. That's the other thing. Aluminum tubing and stuff. It's soft. It wears and starts getting wobbly and falls apart. And
I hear you have some other exciting little products or product. So
I have our light joint, and this is the debut moment. So
can you hear me?
Paul's been testing it for what, 3 months, 4 months?
Yeah, probably 3 months.
Paul, you don't have to speak into that because it's not working.
This one's still not working?
No.
It's settings in your computer.
Yeah, don't worry about it, man. We can hear you fine.
It actually could be a settings on his Zoom too. The little mic that's on your left-hand corner.
Dude, I have hundreds of dollars of gear and none of it works.
It's all right, man.
Unbelievable.
You look good though.
Yeah.
All right, Todd, go ahead. What were you saying now, man?
So our light joint, I mean, we can all talk about the light joints forever of how miserable they've been. There's very little articulation in most of them, a lot of bind, things break, things unthread, they come apart and are loose and they get miserable, especially when you're on the hail trail and you're in a shop, it's just a pain in the ass when you spend an hour trying to fix your light all the time or constantly tightening it up about every 15, 20 minutes, it just costs you money. So Paul's brother Tim called me one day and says, he's like, I got the idea. And he sends me a picture of the little magnetic ball joint phone holder. And so that's what we've come up with is a magnetic ball joint to hold your light. And it is kick ass. If you want to ask Paul how kick ass it is.
All right. So I'm pretty excited because I've been dying to let the cat out of the bag, but, so basically, if you can imagine, take your standard light, and you've got every solution that we've had up until this point has had some sort of mechanical movement, mechanical connection. Okay, so you have a ball, you have a joint, and then you have a screw that has to be tightened down to make that ball as loose or as tight as you want.
Screw it up.
Right. Yeah. And so in my experience, every one of those, even some of the nicer ones, that thread at some point loses grip or it strips or the ball gets worn out or whatever. Right. And so you lose resistance and your light flops around. You got to tighten it. In order to adjust it, sometimes you have to loosen it to adjust it, then tighten it back down. So to be honest with you, that was just a waste of my time. Right. And we're talking about really, to be honest, guys, we're getting down to the point where we're fine tuning the nitty gritty details of what costs us seconds and minutes in a year and a week and a month, right? So with the magnetic ball joint, what happens is you've got this, and Todd, you might be able to explain it better than I can, but you've got a magnet, an earth magnet. The one that I've been testing has been an 80-pound pull, right? You got an earth magnet in a joint, in a socket, and you have a magnetic ball or a steel ball that essentially connects with that earth magnet. And the resistance is so strong that and the motion is so free that you can adjust that ball almost on any angle you want, even down to an acute angle. In other words, it doesn't stop at 90, it keeps going.
Damn, Todd, you doing some scientific crap on us, man?
Because it's got the one I've been testing is 80 pounds of pull. That thing, when you move it, it stays where you move it, right? You can spin it all day, and it's never going to loosen. It's never going to weaken. It's a magnet joint. It's nothing threaded and tightened, but it's tight enough for you to hold it in place, for it to hold in place, but it's loose enough for you to be able to adjust. As a matter of fact, when you try to pull that ball out of that joint, it's such a strong pull that you can't do it by hand. You actually have to have leverage of a light or something else to pop that ball out of socket. Now, it's not the kind of socket where the tension is holding the ball. The magnet is holding the ball. That's how strong the magnet is.
Wow.
But it is the most time-saving, annoying killer that I've experienced on a light joint. And I'll be honest with you, and I'm not saying this is hype. I really think it is going to be the light joint that everybody will go to, including the manufacturers, because it just makes too much sense.
Yeah.
It eliminates all the mechanical bull crap that slows you down, you know?
It sounds like, Todd, you could not just make those for the lights. You could probably make that for somebody's knees, man. So,
Yeah, we are looking into making them for the minis also, mini lights as well, because it just gives you that much more articulation. You don't have the end of the line lock that only spins one direction and then the line lock spins. You know, we can actually make it so it goes, all different directions.
Do you have a picture of it? Or
I have a light right behind me.
Oh, let's see it.
This is the debut moment.
Hey, Mike, be careful, dude. We can't be losing our great innovators to the lucrative medical industry.
Yeah, that's true, man.
So think about this, right? When you watch the motion of this magnet, think about the fact that the only thing that limits your movement is the cable, right? So as many times as that cable will wrap around that arm, that is your only limitation with the movement on this thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible.
I mean, you can see it up close. There's nothing holding that except for magnetism.
Wow.
Can you pop it off, Todd?
My
Pop it off.
As you can see,
Wow.
I get it now.
Pop the magnet off so they can see what kind of force it takes to get it separated.
okay, this one's a little harder. This one's actually a 100-pound pull.
So if you're a hail guy and you're going to break down the light to take it to go, you basically just pop the magnet off of the sleeve, and your light is completely separate from the arm.
Okay, he's struggling to get it off right now.
Yeah, this one's a little harder.
There you go.
That's it.
It literally just takes putting something in there to give it a little more leverage.
I'm telling you, man.
Wow.
The 80-pound pull is actually, you can actually do it with your hand. So you can see the ball, steel ball. But the nice thing, here's the biggest thing, no threads. This ball will never unthread.
Todd.
Yeah.
Take my money. Take my money, please.
So
Please
if
take
you
my
see,
money.
so
The
what we
crazy
got
thing is
here,
you don't even have to spin your light around it. It spins every freaking angle, man. There's
every angle.
Dude, it spins more angles than you've ever been able to spin a light. I promise you.
Yeah. It's a full 180
I promise.
direction and a full 360 all the time. So what we do is this has got a center bore in it. You'll be able to thread it right on the quarter 20 stud that comes with the light. These Ultras have a bigger stud. I just remove that, put in a new bolt. And then you got the two side ones here. That keeps it from ever spinning loose. And then you see in here, this is inside. So it's just a half round machine spot. And these are actually not the magnets. These are actually a north and south pole. Magnets down inside. And then it's literally.
When the hell are we going to have that on the market, man? Don't tell me MTE, man.
Well,
You want that now. Here's the other cool thing.
I just sent money to your PayPal account.
Yeah.
So here's the other cool thing to think about, right? So when you buy that part and you go to fit it onto your light, your existing light, the integration is literally slip it onto the end of the arm and tighten two set screws, and that's it. You have to mount the ball on the back of your light, so that takes a minute or two. But the point is, the integration is relatively seamless. You just put it on your existing arm and you go to work. And what's nice is if you work with, like I use Pro PDR lights, so you know that the new generation Pro PDR lights allow the arm to slide back and forth inside of the main joint, right? So when your light is connected to that arm, your light can be as short or as long as you want it to be, because you're fully able to adjust the length of the arm if you have an adjustable arm light, and then the articulation of the light head itself is just infinite. It's unbelievable.
That brings up a good point. So what do you say about that, Todd? Like what he just explained about, so you have that on the mounted to the very end of a light pole, but like if I want it to be more like what he's talking about, where I can slide it up and down the pole.
You can see right there. With the Pro PDR, you're able to slide it up and down.
No, I have an ultra, full on ultra light and stand.
Yeah, basically it's a pole, basically.
Yeah, you will not be able to slide it up and down with that. But we are going to work on a telescoping boom. PDR has a telescoping boom. Now, when Paul debuted the video a while back and not really showing the joint itself, a lot of guys were pointing to that telescoping boom being the same articulation and everything. And really the way they have it set up, it's not, because they still have that horseshoe piece where it goes to the ball. And so anytime you want to angle this way, you have to make sure that horseshoe's
right.
What about if you had a sleeve that you made for like the Ultra, or is this going to be a replaceable pole? I mean, how are you doing this?
A bit, yeah. The telescoping boom would be a replacement.
Okay.
All right. So maybe I can speak to this, because at first, to be honest with you, I was nervous that I was going to be annoyed that I didn't have the ability to have my arm straight up and down and slide the light up and down the arm. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Because that is not an option in the current configuration. But what I found was that the fact that I had so much motion in this direction, and I could slide my arm in and out as short or as long as I want. If I want to do a side panel, I run my arm down on an angle and I flip the light on an angle like this, basically. It really doesn't, if anything, to be very honest with you, it's given me more mobility, more flexibility with the light to be able to do side panels than anything else.
And you're probably not fighting with the legs and positioning and going this way and that way. You're letting the pole, the telescope, the pole go in and out. Okay.
Let's put it this way. If you're doing a side door panel and you want your arm on your light to be straight out 90 and your light fixture is here, I can twist it. I can twist the light this way or this way, so I can read from any angle I want to. I mean, the mobility is, the adjustability is so infinite that it doesn't matter. And Todd will show you here. It doesn't really matter where the arm is. You can have the arm at any length, and you can go from a side panel position to a top panel position in a matter of seconds, right?
Got it. Yeah.
Depending on how all the tensions are set on your arm. So
I just want to give our listeners an idea. Like we are recording this on video, so you guys can watch this. So because this is a breakthrough episode right here. It's like, I haven't seen anything like it.
My mind's blown right now, Mike. My mind is like exploding.
I was like, man,
holy crap.
Yeah, we're trying to PayPal you right now here, Todd. So, but yeah, this is freaking awesome, man. You got your hype man over here doing it, but you don't even need it. Why did we even bring Paul on? You just show us right now.
Well, I work closely with Paul and Tim quite a bit, bouncing ideas off of them. They're both highly intelligent and
just kidding, Paul.
Good ideas. So it's
really
good to
just
have
a gimmick with him. He really isn't that smart. I roomed with him.
They're kind of stealthy about it, really. You know, but they're no. It's good to have a good group of guys that you can bounce ideas off of, and they'll bounce ideas off of you. And you know, creativity is it can be very stifled by just being by yourself. You know, and you need more people to help you see outside the box sometimes. It works well. So
we just talked about that, had an episode about that, saying that more tool manufacturers, like you're a private guy and you're giving it out to guys who are like Paul or some other guys that you trust that will give you the best feedback, and that's how you get better. You don't always close-minded and just think, oh, this is my idea and my feelings will get hurt, but this is the best way. I think I'm actually very, very impressed about what you came out with. This is like, definitely looks like, I don't know. Daniel, what do you think? It could be a product of the year, dude. What do you think, man?
It's either this or the back luminant light. I mean, those two. I mean, right now, of course, Mike, we don't have it in our hands.
Exactly.
So
yeah, we can't judge it, right?
We can't really judge that until we get it into our hands.
No.
You know? Once we get it into our hands, then we can probably consider it for that prestigious award.
Anyways, Todd, we're just saying, dude, awesome. These things, we're very impressed, man.
Look, I'll be honest with you guys.
I think everybody's gonna love this.
When I received Todd's like hail rod and the whole setup, and I pulled it out, I looked at it and was like, dude, I've got like some work to do on my own shit. You know what I mean? Like. And in all honesty, it made me think that about everybody in the industry. I was like, this dude went above and beyond. He like put like special details on it, and the way he packaged it, and the way that it came, and just how high quality. And it was like it was just retrofitted to such perfection. Yeah. So if anything,
John, you know how hard it is with carbon fiber, with how the tolerances are.
Dude.
It was a fight. It was a fight to be in. I can't tell you all the rods are fit as tight as probably the one you got, but we do our best, and some of the people know, but my wife is the one who builds the rods while I'm on the road, so she really takes special care. In fact, sometimes drives me nuts how anal she is on them. So
Todd, I gotta say, I was pretty damn excited yesterday about Apple's X, or Apple i10. But I'm telling you, man, what you did, man, just put another burst in my excitement, man. This is really good. And if you guys aren't watching the video and you're listening to this podcast, you gotta watch this video and see what the hell he just did.
Okay, here's the big question.
Wait, real quick, before you move on to that, I just want to say something real quick. Now, all you gun guys and you car guys out there, you guys know when you look at your favorite gun, or when you go out there and you look at this beautiful car that you have, how you just sit there and you marvel over it. You almost want to break out maybe like a little alcohol and have a drink and just look at it. That's the type of shit you do with this carbon rod. I'm just saying.
Well, it's a good thing that the carbon headstand has some drink holders.
It's perfect.
Good advantage. I put 2 cup holders in it. But,
so, Todd, when will this new joint be available for our lights?
Well, I'm shooting for about 7 weeks. It's about a 6-week manufacturing time. I'm about to put in the order, hopefully the next day or so, and it'll be weeks total. So, hopefully.
I'm also thinking like version 2 already. Is it possible to run the electricity through that magnet? Because magnets.
It is not, but that's the next thing I'm getting to. I'm working closely right now with Carl Stuckey. He's going to be doing a light with the battery in the head, and I think a lot of people are going to follow anyways. I think there's some other probably in the works. We actually have a reverse model to where the magnet is on the light for his. He's actually designed it to where it kind of sits in a pocket, kind of give it a lower profile, and then the ball part will be on the boom. And we're also working with Dentrix right now. They've already had their plate mounted exactly how they like for basically their ball end. It's kind of like Ultra's original with a studded or a threaded stud and the ball threaded onto that. They came to me and they want this ball, and we're going to make it in a 1-inch version too, in case people want to just buy the ball and not have a ball that comes loose. So we're going to do that, and we're also making it so the bigger ball with the magnet will work on their light also. So we've got 2 light companies right now, and I think everybody's going to follow.
Wow.
Footsteps. So the less something can come apart. I mean, me and I think I was talking to Paul the other day about some few ideas, and he threw out some ideas, and I said, well, those will have a chance of failure, and I want to eliminate all that. I don't want any chance of failure. So
yeah.
Well, good.
I would say that it's very possible that this is the next era of light joints, in my opinion, because everything up until this point being mechanical in nature, having a thread and an arm that you have to tighten and having somewhat limited adjustability is completely eliminated in this new design. And that, for me, in the long term, saves me seconds and minutes every day, which at the end of a year saves me, minutes and hours, and just cuts down on the amount of annoying little things that go wrong or that take extra time and energy and effort out of my day.
I'm so annoyed with my light.
Same here.
frustrated.
You don't even know what you don't have until you realize what you don't have. It's
Exactly.
amazing. You know,
How about trying to
Well,
train students and tell them to adjust their light, and the light's going here, it's going over there. It's just like it's terrible. You're spending, like Paul says, you're spending a lot of time messing up and setting up your light when you could be just, concentrating, doing your thing. So.
And with the way the Pro PDR was set up originally, you always had to flip the boom over, constantly flip the boom. And I think typically when you do that, you flip it one direction always. And then next thing you know, your cord's all wrapped up.
Yeah.
With this, you're always working one direction, and then you just flip it around the other direction, not really knowing. And really the cord never wraps up. I mean, yeah, I'm sure you can always swing one direction, but
Do you have a general price point on this thing yet?
We were trying to hit $199, but they're coming out a little more expensive than we thought. So we're looking, I think it's going to be close to probably $249, maybe a little less if we can get it there.
Because I know from our buddy here how expensive magnets are.
Magnets are really expensive, and I'm really happy that our industry is like going towards magnets because they're amazing things. I'm telling you, tips should be held out by
Somebody listen to me. Please start making magnetic tap downs and magnetic tips for us hail techs that can flip the tool and push up, man. I'm telling you, Todd, are you on that yet, man, or what?
Well,
man?
Paul's throwing out that idea too.
Mike, you're not the first one with that idea, brother. I hate to tell you.
I've been saying it for years. Nobody's listening to me, man.
I know.
You know how much time I spend threading a tip into a tool? It's ridiculous, dude.
I know, man. Just click, pop,
It's something we'll work on for sure. I just, full-time hail tech still, and so it's definitely a struggle to try to run both businesses.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I'm doing what I can and going as fast as I can. I mean, honestly, it's really hard to even keep up with production right now. I mean, these rods, we've sold probably over 600 of these rods, and they're still going. Hanson is just killing me right now. They're just
good peoples, man. You give them a product, it's out. So
it is. I mean, they said that the Carbon Tech rod's the number one seller they have. So I gotta give it to them, man. They've been doing good for me.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Daniel. Later. So Daniel's we're falling off like flies.
See you. Thank you.
Anything else you got to say? Are we pretty wrapped up on that, Todd?
Well, I think maybe a touch base on my Carbon Tech our rear hatch hanger. I mean, a lot of people have it, and I don't have one in here, but it's different than all the others because we use AM steel blue rope rather than chains, and they're ratchet hooks. So the adjustability is instant rather than trying to, change the hooks and on the chain and fighting the heavy chain and everything. You just reach in, pull the rope. The rope is, I think, it's a 1/4 inch, but I think the breaking strength on it's something like 6,400 pounds. So you can't even stretch it if you tried.
Wow.
So it's pretty amazing, and it really does go well and complement the rod really well, And like I said, we do sell a rubber grip tape for it to help, the carbon on carbon, so it's not sliding around, and it just works.
Todd, where are you based out of? What area?
San Bernardino area, Highland.
San Bernardino, California?
Yeah.
Shoot, man, I didn't know you were my neighbor. I mean, Vince's neighbor? Shoot.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just kind of, just in that corner before you go up to Big Bear.
Well, you should come over for our Mega Media event. I'll join. Anson's going to be there. Steve's going to be there. So
yeah, let me know.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to be there. So come on, down, dude.
When is it?
It's October 26th through 27th to the 28th. It's sold out, dude. So come on over.
Right.
Bring your rods. I'm sure some guys are going to pick them up. So listen, I just wanted to say thanks again, man, for coming on, man. And it's
what's the website that
what is it
that we're promoting here where you can get all the products and updates?
CarbonTechPDRtools.com, and I think probably next week or so I will be putting up a link or I guess a spot where you can put in a deposit for the light joint. And that way, because I'm having, I think 500 of them made right off the bat. So I'm kind of thinking with the buzz it's creating already that 500 is going to go quick.
Yeah. Well, make sure you let us know. We'll put one up, a link or so on, or you post too. Probably post it on PDR Tool Time where everyone goes to for the tools, man.
Yep.
So
I will.
And we'll post it on this
I appreciate
podcast.
You guys.
You got it, Todd. Man, this is exciting, man. I really appreciate it. It was honestly, I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. You know, he's gonna bring on some kind of ball joint, you know, and then I was like, what the heck is that, man? That is legit, dude. Hashtag legit.
Well, the problem I see is the everybody is just improving a little bit on what's already out there instead of really looking around the world at other products that can be brought into the PDR industry, and that's a key. I think, you know, Vince, your product is, you know, from another industry, I think, a little bit, and you know, it's good to see somebody really looking around and trying to bring that all in, because it's already out there. I mean, all the technology is out there. We just need to open our eyes and see it.
Make it our own.
Yeah, we need to polish it.
Polish it up and make it work for us. Yeah, well, I think the main thing is that what I've noticed is nothing out of Carbon Tech is crap. You've polished everything. You've crossed your T's and dotted your I's before you're letting.
He's like Apple, man. So
I don't know. Did you see that yesterday?
Well, I don't have anybody waiting in line out my door, but maybe soon.
It's excellent having you on the show, and we want to thank Paul for coming in and joining us as well.
That also reminds me, next week, though, after this podcast, we're bringing him on. We're also going to bring Jeremy on, not Jeremy Taylor. Gosh dang it, the other Jeremy. He does wholesale like crazy, and this is what it's going to be. It's going to be about wholesale pricing, and me and Paul are going to talk and debate and share some ideas, and we're going to go back and forth.
The cracker fight.
Yeah. No. But we're gonna do part 2 of the wholesale market. Is it gone, or is it possibly you could bring the prices up? And we're gonna talk. It's about
going down for real. I got a bone to pick with Mike and John.
So, hey, Todd, again, thank you very much. Very exciting products that you have coming out. Everyone look forward to it. Check out episode 87. We will have a video on there. I think we're going to put this on our YouTube channel as well, just because. And this was PDR Tool Time exclusive. So we really appreciate you letting us see it first.
Yeah, and just so you know, I'm not in Highland right now. I'm in Lubbock, Texas, working. So come to you from everywhere. So
awesome.
You know, us Hale guys, we're never in one place.
Yeah.
Nomads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
And, just also for you guys that are door dingers and big dent guys, anything we can add to this, you know, I'd love to hear it, because like I said, it's going to go into the mini, and we're gonna try to make it all one deal. So.
I'm about it, man. I like sharp tools. That's my stuff right there. So yeah. Especially that damn aluminum.
Yeah.
All right, Paul, thanks a lot for coming on too, man. We'll see you next week. Okay.
My pleasure, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Todd, thanks a lot, man. And we'll see you guys and talk to everybody on the next episode. No tech tips. We just ran out of time. So talk to you guys later.
John's not here, so it's join the revolution, and Daniel's not here, so it's level up your tools.
There you go. Talk to you guys later.
Thank you, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Hold on.